Okay, you guys, I'm gonna be recording this video with a new device. I have a microphone right here attached to my jumpsuit, and I really hope that you guys can hear me clear, and I hope that it works. If not, then I will just record another one tomorrow. But I wanted to come on here and share a little story time that also was a lesson that was taught to me immediately. And I know this definitely is going to be relatable to me, and it could be relatable to anybody else that may have been in a situation like this. So, a couple of days ago, I was tasked to do something. I was given an assignment to do something. I completed the assignment, but prior to the assignment, there was training that had to be done before completing the assignment. So I had the training. I did some exercises with the person that was training me. I got the information. I got some examples. I ran over a couple trials and examples with the person, and it worked out pretty well. But again, when you're learning a new task or in a new assignment, you want to make sure you do it a couple times to make sure you got everything. Now, be mindful that when you're learning something new or being trained by something new, the person that's teaching you usually has done that before you, and they know more of what needs to be still completed on top of what they're training you in. So, fast forward to a couple days ago, the training that I had led to one of the assignments that needed to get completed. However, there was a question about a past assignment that had been completed. So I took the initiative to, give the answer to that. Like, okay, here's where we are. This is what is going to happen, and I'll keep you updated on the outcome. So that information was not received. That is not the answer that that person wanted. But I also knew that I shouldn't have answered to the question being asked because I did not have history of what happened before I got the training for coming on to this new assignment. So something in me told me to stop and don't answer it, but I went against the will of what was being told internally into me. And I did the external thing, and I was like, I'm just going to answer it. So, because of that, I got that back and forth of questions. Tell me what happened, why wasn't it completed? And I really did not have the answers, which led me to believe that the person that did have the answers should have answered, but they did not. So the day ended with the answer and the task still not being completed in the way that they wanted to, but it was being completed at a later date. So fast forward to the next day. Well, actually, let's go back. After that, after I ended the situation of completing the task, my day was over, and I sat and thought about that situation for like probably almost the rest of the night. I thought about it. I thought about how I could have did it differently. I talked it out with my family. I tried to figure out 10 different ways how I could have done it differently, and um, not wanting to find the fault on me. Like, I know I didn't do anything. I know it wasn't my assignment to have completed before I was there, and so forth and so forth. And that made me stop for a moment and realize that I don't have to always try to figure out the verdict, because vindication will be there if you know that you did not do anything to have the situation be at where it is right now, especially if you were nowhere near the beginning story. You might be the solution, but you were not in the beginning, the middle, or the end of the result before you came on. You might just be, your beginning is when you came on. So I had to take a minute, collect my thoughts, and pray and ask God and just, talk to him and just say, I'm doubting myself. I'm questioning myself. I'm getting offended by something that I know I didn't do. And that none of that was peace, which is what we all should have when we know that we're not found guilty or something, or we're wrong of doing something. So I had to make myself get centered. I had to make myself find peace. And I know I'm not the only person that has ever had this situation happen where you find yourself questioning something that you good and well knew you should have answered because you don't have any information on it, but you did it because you think you're going to help the situation when really you're not helping the situation or yourself. You're just getting yourself in the situation, and now you're putting a lot of other weight on you that's unnecessary, and it was never really your portion to begin with. So that has happened to me many times in this season or error journey, whatever you want to call it. And I had to quickly remind myself that evening that had you listened to the spirit that was telling you, do not respond, do not answer, do not engage. This is not something that you need to answer right away. I would have known that the outcome would have been favorable. But because I didn't, I just knew it wasn't going to be favorable. I had already put in my mind, like, it's not going to be good. So after that night, I'm not gonna lie, I tossed and turned all night because I was just thinking, like, I don't want it to look like I I fell on the assignment. Like, I just didn't want it to look like that. So I tossed and turned all night, and then next morning comes, and of course I'm bringing the thoughts of yesterday into the next morning. And we're all human; it happens. Nobody is perfect when it comes to always being on their A game. I just was not. I was just feeling it that day. I was in my feelings, like I said. And so the next morning comes, and I do my usual routine that I do. I'm having my alone time with God. I'm speaking to Him. I'm asking my Father, guide me, tell me what I need to learn throughout this day, and so forth, and all that. And as the day goes, starts to begin, I start seeing the answers come little by little as I get ready to start the day off for my assignment. I see that what I was tasked to answer yesterday, or what I decided to make my task and answer yesterday, actually was corrected immediately by the person that actually did know the answer and answered the question to everybody else. Now, had I just waited, which is another thing, waiting. A lot of us don't like to do that. We want to get the answer right away, like we have an urgency to get the answer. Had I just waited, none of these thoughts, none of these doubts, none of these feeling offended or any of that, none of this would have came about at all. I would have probably slept very peacefully, wouldn't have tossed and turned, wouldn't have probably woke up with an attitude throughout the night, thinking about it, fumbling and stumbling, over it the entire night. Had I just waited and just listened, had I listened and waited for it to be answered by somebody else. You got to know your position. You got to know when to speak and when not to speak. And you got to know that there's always going to be vindication when it's due, especially if you know that you're not guilty of something or you did no wrongdoing in something. It's going to show itself when it's supposed to show itself. Sometimes it happens right away, like mine did, or sometimes it happens months, years, centuries, eons, whatever. But it does happen. But that story is definitely a lesson of knowing that we have to listen to the spirit that is telling us to obey it. That means silencing everything around you, not answering to your flesh right away, being able to be obedient to listen to that because you're going to hear it and you can still do what you want to do, but it takes a lot of self restraint to pull yourself back and listen to it as well. Um, Being able to act on not acting, which is a thing. Um, Knowing that the moment you give in to that thought of this is offending me, how this is not making sense to me, the moment you give into that thought of doubt or um, thinking that your self-esteem is getting ready to deplete because of something, that is nothing but a trick of the enemy, meaning the world itself or the enemy trying to get into your head of thinking that what you did is wrong. And the more you try to be a part of it and try to fix it, is sometimes we make it even more of a mess. It's just like we get more involved than we need to, when really we just need to step back and look at the situation in a whole. And I'm trying not to hit this because if this mic is working, it's probably gonna pick up everything, even if I brush up against it. So yeah, the outcome of that story was that the situation was favorable for me. It ended up answering itself, and I immediately had to give the glory to our Father and ask for forgiveness for trying to step ahead of Him. Absolutely not. I need to know my place, and my place is where I am at the moment, and He has it. He's got my back. He's got my back better than anybody else could ever have my back. And He's showing me this daily, and I have to remember that. If you trust me yesterday, you got to trust me today. I'm the same as yesterday as I am today. You just got to trust me. You got to let me walk you through this process. So again, not everybody's always on their A game. I definitely was not on my A game a couple days ago. I was in my feelings, and my feelings won for the moment. But again, I immediately responded correctly once I see myself going the opposite direction, which is not the situation that I want for myself, especially when I've just, I've come out of that cycle of being favorable with the world and thinking that I need to go this way and be on an urgency like that. I don't operate that way anymore, and He knows it. And our Father has a good way of reminding us about that. So yeah, so I did want to share that story with anybody who may have had that happen or has had that happen in the past. Yeah, it's definitely just reflect on that. Reflect on the situations, the incidents that happen, and be obedient. It's so easy to say that, and people say, "You're always saying that. You're always saying be obedient," because it's something that just comes naturally to me now that I know that if I don't, I'm being disobedient if I'm not being obedient, because if I don't listen to Him and I just do it my own free will, because we have the ability to have our own free will, I usually end up making the situation really messy, and I don't like that. I never did. My old me used to like that, but this new version, I don't like it. I like peace. I like to be calm. I like to collect my thoughts. I like to come back and revisit the situation, see what I learned from it, because every situation you're gonna learn something from it. So hence me sharing this story with you all. I'm pausing because I've been out in the sun with my sunscreen. Yeah, I do put my sunscreen on, but I have this really nice glow going on, and no, my camera is not modified to make me brighter. Sometimes I do that, but I didn't do it today. But yeah, I hope this does inspire somebody to don't beat yourself up. It happens. We all get in our feelings. It's real life. It's gonna happen. Just reflect, learn, move on, and make sure that you don't repeat it a ton of times. You can if you want to. I know. I don't want to, so I'm going to try to repeat it one time and learn the lesson many times, meaning I'll repeat that lesson that I learned from it instead of repeating that situation over and over again. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you guys can hear me really clear on this mic. I get it from Amazon too. If you're interested, I'll link it in the bio, but I really hope it's clear. I'm gonna have to play this video back and see if you can really hear me good on it. So other than that, I hope you guys are gonna have a great weekend ahead. And if you're going anywhere for the 4th of July, be safe out there. Please do. I was just on the highway and people are getting ready to leave out, and the traveling is serious. It's packed, jam packed on the highway. So be careful if you're driving, be careful if you're flying, be careful if you're going by train. That makes me think of the movie Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, which is a classic as well. So yeah. If you guys knew me outside of the screen, I'm a cheese ball. So, but Maybe this side will come out as you guys start watching more of my videos, but I'm very, very, very much a cheese ball. But I'm funny. At least I think I am funny. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you like it, I am going to suggest you to click the like button and subscribe. And I want you guys to all stay encouraged, stay safe, stay prayed up. And into the next one, I will talk to you soon. Bye.